Here I am at the pond, about to make my first cast with our new rig, our new combo. We've got the Celilo 6-foot 6-inch rod. We've got our C2000S Ultegra by Shimano. I've got a little 1.25 gram jig from iFish, and the ZMan worms, or WormZ, in the pumpkin color, green pumpkin. And we're spooled up with 4-pound Appalachian silk from Creek Life Lure Company. So 13 days after getting the reel, I'm about to make my first cast with it. So here we go with first thoughts and impressions on the new combo. Pretty good casting distance for my first cast. Letting it sink to the bottom. Couple little twitches. Slow reel and a lift. Let it sink back to the bottom. Slow reel and drop to the bottom. Lift. Couple little twitches. Let it sink back to the bottom. I'll probably just keep doing a variation of that. So the cast was good. I can feel the bottom. I can feel that I'm running it, bumping into some grass. I haven't had anything to feel as far as like a hit, so I can't tell how sensitive that's going to be. But the Appalachian silk I have fished with before on a BFS rod, and that is not recommended. So I'm spooled up with it today because I want to see how it works on a spinning reel. And I could tell as soon as I picked up that debris from the bottom, I could tell that right away. Okay. Now the reel is very, very smooth. I know there's people curious about that. We already know that the line roller's working. But the reel itself is performing really well. I mean, it's just really smooth. We already know that initially it's going to have a lot of resistance, and that is there. Just have to get used to the resistance versus running into vegetation on the bottom. Wanted to get a review out there, especially on the Ultegra a year after release. I'll probably put this little bit of ramble on there just because it's my first impressions of the rod and reel. Yeah, it casts pretty well. Of course, I'm using line that is basically like 1 pound mono in diameter, and that 1.25 gram jig gets a good bit of distance, and I haven't really tried to throw it hard. It's behaving like an ultralight. Now the thing with the Presso and the Beleza rods is I can cast further with those. I could tell that right away, but that's because of the way the tips are, the way they load. From my initial look at this rod, I thought that the tip might give me a little bit more distance than it's given me, but it is recovering really quick. So I like that. The recovery is very, very quick. Which is nice. I mean, it's only a $35 rod for me. I mean, I got it, I think it runs around 41 to 43 typically, and I picked it up for 35 on a special. And I'm getting good distance. There's nothing wrong with that. I can feel it load. I know when to release. It feels good. Be anxious to give a first impression of a hit, an actual strike. Okay. Now, I did feel him hit right away. Nice of him to cooperate. Whoa, he threw the bait. That's a shame. So I missed my first fish. Is that bad luck? Oh yeah, that cast went really, really good distance. One thing I am going to note right here is I've been fishing for about 10 minutes, and I'm already noticing the weight of the reel compared to the Vanford that I usually fish with and the Soiree that I usually fish with, using the twitching method that I'm using right now. And the other thing is I can notice from the balance of the rod in my hand that it is very tip heavy. So that's where it balances. Right there, you'll see it take a nosedive. That's where it balances. So that's one thing I noticed. So when I'm fishing with it, I can feel it pulling me down. All right, felt that hit. Probably another little bass. All right. For the size of the fish, decent little bend on the rod. All right, calm down there, buddy. All right, well, there he is. First fish with the new combo. I like the fact that I was able to feel the fish even though he was pretty tiny. He didn't seem to hit very hard. There he is. I like it. Okay, we'll get him back in the water. And there he goes. He's off. All right, fish number one. Okay, I just want to make sure I have a hook in that one. Okay, try to let you see a little bit about what that tip's doing. The rod bend. Feels like another little bass, but actually I think this might be a bluegill. Oh, no, shellcracker? Yeah, shellcracker. All right. Shall we gamble or shall I get the net? He looks like he's hooked all right. All right. He's hooked pretty well. Hate to do that upside down, but that's where the hook is. So I'll show over there. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nice little shellcracker. All right. I'm going to get this guy unhooked, get him back in the water. And he's off. Oh, way out there. I think he followed it down. I was taking a couple pictures of the bail roller assembly, and as soon as I picked this up, this fish was on the end of it. He must have followed it down, and as soon as it started to move, he picked it up. That was actually kind of cool. Hope he doesn't have it too deep. Oh no, he's right. He's hooked on the edge. He might jump off. Yeah, that's a good hookup. Yeah, that was a good hookup. Now that's a good point to keeping pressure on there, because with these thin wire hooks, that hook just kind of pops right out. So you definitely have to keep the pressure on him. All right, get this guy back in the water. Yeah, all right. Let's see if that works again. I'll let that sink all the way down to the bottom. Oh, might not have to. He got hit on the way down. Now, I felt that. I felt him hit it. So that, probably another one of those bass in that school. Yep. They're just those little 1-year-olds, I think, 1 or 2-year-olds maybe. And they're just out there schooling in front of me. So while that bait was sinking to the bottom, he hit it. Now he's giving me some tugs, but not fantastic tugs. I mean, he's not pulling that hard, but he's fighting. He's just not that powerful. I mean, he's pulling hard for him, but he's just not that powerful of a fish, you know? Now, he was hooked pretty good. Oh. I always like to get a picture of my fish with the lure in their mouth so I know what I caught them on. And usually with the rod as well, so I know what combo I caught them with. All right, let's get him back in there. I mean, that's 3 bass in pretty quick succession. Oh no, one of them was a shellcracker. Still, that's a few fish right away. Okay, so I normally do that to put it back, and that little guide thing that they put in there works pretty well. I don't know what it's called. Yeah, it didn't get hit right away. But they moved out. Yeah, they're way out there now. Interesting though. While the school was there, I got a couple bass out of it pretty quick. I'm really hoping for some more shellcracker, some nice bluegill. Right now I'm doing more of a popping it up off the bottom kind of retrieve than that slow reel and twitch and fall retrieve. And it seems to be working a little bit better for me. That last fish I caught, I actually saw my line tighten up and I felt it hit. So he followed it down and either picked it off on the way down or right after it hit the bottom. So that's just a regular jigging it up off the bottom. All right, quit the ramble. Another one. Oh, spit it. Just a humorous little aside right here. I never have ever said that a fish spit the hook before. And now I'm saying spit it, spit it, spit it. But I just watched a By His Grace fishing video. And that's his expression for when a fish throws the hook. He's, oh, it spit it, it spit it. He's being an influence on me, man. I always used to just say, oh, missed it. He threw the hook. Something, but I never used to use the expression, he spit the hook. That's just kind of funny. If you don't watch By His Grace Fishing, it's a good ultralight fishing channel. Some beautiful creek footage. Well, try to concentrate on the cast and closing the bail. See, it goes up in there pretty easily. You don't really have to guide it quite as much as some of the other reels. I mean, it doesn't take much to guide it in there anyway, but I think if somebody fished incorrectly, it would be a big help. It's supposed to be an anti-twist deterrent. Let's call it that. All right. Coming up. Yep, got to be a bass. He's coming up. Get that drag set a little bit lighter now. More for the size of these fish that have been hitting me. All right. Nice. Oh, he got it. He got it down in there pretty deep. All right, we'll get this little guy back in the water. And he's off. There's one of the fish we came for. All right. Nice little guy. Okay, we'll get this little guy unhooked. Or little gal unhooked. Get her back in the water. Yeah, it's off like a shot. Oh. Just had this little guy smoke me. At the end of the cast, I was just starting to reel it in. And he just came after it like a shot. He hit without too much line, more line out than that. Trying to let him wear out a little bit. But he smoked it. He came after it pretty fast. Probably thought it was a little minnow about to get away from him. You can see he shot at it so fast, he got it down pretty deep. Might have to get my glasses on to take this one out. Tell you one thing that's really good for the fish with these BG1s is even if they take the hook down fairly deeply, you can still get them unhooked without really hurting the fish. So that's a definite plus as far as those BG1s is concerned. And they're sharp. I felt him hit it on the way down. It was slowly sinking towards the bottom, and I felt him hit it. So there is good sensitivity between the rod and the braid. An okay little rod bend, but these fish aren't really, I'm not feeling a whole lot of aggressive fighting on the other end of the line. Maybe because of the heat, it's over 90 degrees, so that probably has a lot to do with it. And this rod is a little bit stiffer than I'm used to, but I'm not getting that. I mean, the drag is set really light, so I just don't feel like they're pulling that hard. Oh, there you go. That's a nice bluegill. That's the nicest one of the day right there. That is a nice bluegill. Yes, indeed. Really pretty. Good size, too. Probably 8, 8 1/4. All right, let's get this guy unhooked. See, that hook comes out so nice and easily with those BG1s. Sometimes that works in your favor. A bass is jumping up in the air, out of the water. Not so much. But still love those hooks. Especially just bluegill and crappie fishing. They are just marvelous for bluegill and crappie. What is that a combination of? All right. Yeah, that's casting like a dream right now.